In this video, I'm going to share my simple trading plan, including my full analysis, entries, profit targets, no matter if the market goes up or down. So make sure you watch until the end because people have seriously been making money off of these setups. And then also watch until the end because there is a really cool PDF for you to download that helps put all of this together. So let's go ahead and jump right into the charts. So as you can see, here is all the artwork from last week. So we're just going to, as usual, go ahead and remove all of these drawings and then also remove all of these alerts. And if anyone knows a quicker way to remove all of these alerts instead of just clicking on these one by one, please put that in the comment section below so that way I can utilize that feature. So let's go ahead and start on the weekly time frame as usual, and let me move all of this over so everyone can see it. So as we can see, as I expected from last week, we can see that this candle closed bullish on the weekly time frame. So that means that there is a higher possibility possibly for price to go up next week. But we do need to keep in mind that we are coming to a major rejection zone around 24.50. So that should be interesting to see. So either price will continue to push up, which is a possibility, or price could reject and come down. So let's go ahead and put some lines on the chart and just map all of this out. So I'm going to make this bigger so that way we can all see it. So first thing I'm going to do on the weekly is there's this little support area right here around 23.16. I am going to map that out for right now. And then I'm going to go up to this resistance area that I just talked about around 24. What is this? This will be around 24.25. So not going all the way to the top, but we do see that at this level, around 24.25, we do have 1, 2, 3 touches, and this week's candle stopped at that level perfectly. So this is looking good to me so far on the weekly time frame. We are going to have some other levels, but let's go ahead and see if we can make sense of it on the daily. So once again, let me adjust. There we go. All right. So this is looking kind of nutty on the daily time frame, mainly because we have some choppiness. Basically, we have some price action here that's kind of jittery. Candles kind of printing side by side. So let's go ahead and draw out some other levels. So before we do that, one thing I do see off the back, this weekly level that we drew needs to be adjusted. I do want to adjust it so that way it's closer to 24.27, mainly because we have these 3 touches right here. We do have a slight gap, but that's totally okay. This is the highest point at this point, and we will make adjustments when we go down to the lower time frames. So looking at this other level that we drew, I am okay with that for right now, but one thing I am going to do is clone this line, and I'm going to draw another level around 22.92, and that's mainly because we have this nice support here. We do have this candle right here touching just a little bit, or really close to touching, and then I'm also going to clone this again, and then I do see a nice support level right here at 23.58, but I am actually going to move this down closer to 23.50, mainly because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 wicks in this area, and typically if I have a nice wick area like I do here, I like to put them at the wicks because they're literally closing around the same area. So that makes sense to be that price have came down. It wants to bounce up from that level, so I'm going to put a level there. And of course, we're going to make further adjustments when we go down to lower time frames. Okay, so far on the daily, this is looking good to me. Let's see, yeah, that still looks good. Okay, great. So let's go down to the H4 time frame. All right, so if we, let's scoot this in just a little bit. I just want to take a look at this area over here. So far, it's still looking good to me, so we're just going to leave it alone. This level is still looking good. Now we can see a lot more detail. We got these wicks, these 4 wicks right here that are kind of in this 23.50 zone. That's still looking good. This level that we drew is still looking good, and this is also looking good. Okay, cool. So one thing that I do see on this H4 time frame is I do see a resistance right here, and then if we look to the left, we see another rejection point around 23.87. And then if we look left further, we do see this one. It's a little higher, but what I want to do, I'm trying to see, yeah, actually that's going to be perfect. So let's do this. So I'm going to draw a level right here around 23.92. And the reason why I'm doing this is because at some point price came to this point in the market and it rejected, bounced off this as support, and then broke through this level and then came back and retested this same level. So the fact that on the way up, it rejected and went down, and then once it was actually up, it came to the same point and then rejected and went up. So basically you have this motion in opposite directions. Here it went down, here it went up. We want to mark off this level because it's a level of significance. If on both sides of the market, up and down, it came to this exact same area and rejected, it's important. So that's why I want to mark that off. And this is around 23.90. So that's looking good to me. That's the only other thing I want to touch on H4. So let's go to H2 and see if we can refine some of these levels. So looking over here, this first line still looks good. I like these rejections right here. Not much I want to touch there. This is still looking good right here. This is looking great, great, great. Okay, cool. So now we're going to go down to H1. This is going to be the last time frame that we go down to before we go into mapping out our analysis for the week. So I'm just scooting this in as much as possible so that way I could go back to up here and see if there's something I want to adjust. And yes, I do want to push this line up a little bit. So let's zoom in right here. So at this level at 24.30, I moved this line up a little bit, mainly because I saw a nice resistance level that was formed and then another resistance level with 4 rejections. So I want to map that off because as you see, price made this strong bullish or bearish engulfing candle and then it sold off tremendously over the next couple of days. So that's definitely a level that I want to pay attention to, especially since if we look at more recent price action, and I'm scrolling forever, but if we look at price action from this past week, we are close to this level and we want to see if price is going to reject this level or if it's going to push up and possibly make new highs. That is a possibility. So this is looking good so far right there. And then just quickly checking these. These are perfect, perfect. I like that. And then, okay, this looks great. Okay, awesome. Let's see. Do I want to adjust this? Let me move this just a little bit. So I'm moving this bottom level to be at 22.90 perfectly, and the fact that it lines up with a psychological number, 22.90, so something that ends in a 5 or a 0, typically that's what I'm looking for. It just kind of double confirms the level placement. So this is looking great to me. So now let's go ahead and talk about our game plan for this upcoming week. Okay, so let me go ahead and adjust this. All right, cool. So keep in mind we're on the H1 time frame, and one thing I'll be looking for is for price to break up above this 24.17 level, mainly because this was a level that I was looking at this past week, and I knew that, or knew, but at least based on the data that I see, I understood that if we stay below this level, then there were going to be sales. If not, there's a potential to move up. And as you can see, price came up here, rejected. Whoa, don't know what just happened there. Let's try that again. So price came up here and rejected and then came back up and now it's rejecting again. So we just really don't know. So basically, I want to, generally I'm bullish on this market, but if I'm looking for price to make new highs, then I want for price to be closing up above this level. So that's one idea that I have. And then let me go ahead and draw off these levels right here. So this is 123 pips. That's a really nice range for me. So that's looking really good. And then if we scoot in a bit and go over to the left where we saw those candles before, okay, way over here. So one thing I do want to mark off, I'm going to use a horizontal ray, is this high or this point where price made the highest high inside of the market at 24, roughly 50. So if price breaks above here, then there's a possibility for price to continue to retest, go up and retest these previous highs, and that's almost 200 pips. That's an amazing range. So that would be another area that I would be looking at for this week. And then one other area that I would be looking for would be this 2392 level. So what I would be looking for specifically is if price was to come down into this level, kind of dance around for a little bit, maybe consolidate like it normally does, and then go back up to this level to retest these previous highs, then that's going to be an idea. But typically I like for price to consolidate at one of these zones first before going up. So that's an idea that I have. And then possibly, since this is such a strong level, I would be looking for potential sells below this level right here. So below, what is this? 2391. And this will be, I think this will be a little bit risky, mainly because this will be a counter trend trade, because generally the market is up. So just something to watch out for. If you don't like counter trend trades, then this probably is not going to be a good trade for you. But I don't mind actually doing that at times. So this would be an idea. And then once again, if price was to break this level, come down here, consolidate, and then reject and come up, I will be looking for buys at this point. And this is based off of what price has done in the past. We see these really long wicks right here on this H1 time frame where price did come down and it bounced up. So right here, it did it. And then right here, it did it as well. And then right here, it kind of touched it, but it was in the zone. And then, oops, and then right here as well. So 4 times it came to this level and it bounced up. So there's a possibility for price to bounce up again based on whatever is happening in the market. So that is my analysis there. But then once again, I would be looking for sells if price was to break this really strong level. So below here, let me extend this box a little bit. All right. So I would also be looking for sells from this point. So from 2350-ish all the way down to about 2317. So, and that's 300 and something pips. You know how this gold market is. It is not out of the realm of possibility for price to actually do that. So let me scoot this in. So this is pretty much my trading plan for this upcoming week. And of course, as the market changes, adjust your plan accordingly, because I do the same thing, but generally it follows this kind of market structure, and it's really helpful. So if you haven't already, go ahead and download the 54 easy tips to eliminate fear and take profitable day trades. People have said some amazing things about this so far. It's actually one of my most popular downloads so far. So go ahead and check it out and help you become a consistently profitable trader. I will see you next time.